All right. Appreciate y'all being in the joint, man. Appreciate y'all being in the joint. Let's get ready to do this right quick. I ain't gonna hold y'all in here too long, man. Just want to come in here and give y'all some good games, some good info for the day. Y'all hit that like button on your way in, man. Hit that like button on your way in. Appreciate y'all being in the joint. Let's give the people a few minutes to get in here, man. Just a few minutes. We ready? Just a few minutes. Maybe another minute and a half, man. We ain't gonna sit in here all day. Appreciate y'all being in the joint, man. Hope everybody having a bang up week so far. It's only Tuesday, but wrapping up Tuesday. Great topic for y'all today, man. Great topic for the day. Royal T, what's good, brother? What's good? Good to see you in the joint, man. Bless up to you. Bless up. Always a joyous occasion to get in here, man, and really chop it up. Go hard with the word. Life goes on with or without you. When you're out here competing in this world and you're trying to move on and make things happen, the race keeps going. If you're in the game and you're injured, you just go over to the sideline. The game keeps going. If you're in a race and you hit the wall and crash out, after the caution flag, the race keeps going. If you run the Boston Marathon, New York Marathon, and you cramp up and can't continue, the marathon keeps going. Life keeps going with or without you. Pastor Eke, salute, salute, salute. My brother, SJ3 Harlem World Breaker in the building, man. Salute to you, bro. Good to see you in the joint, dog. Good to see you in the joint. We might as well go ahead and make this do what it's gonna do. All right, man. So let's get into it. The key to life is not to ever get so down on yourself after losses that you can't continue, that you can't even learn the lessons. And also not to get too high on yourself after your wins, that you start to rest on your laurels and stop putting in the work. Stop dedicating yourself to the process of the progress. So today we're going to discuss 10 ways you can make sure you stay focused by celebrating the wins, mourning the losses, and then keeping it moving. That's just how it is. You don't fully celebrate until the end of the season. When all the goals have been accomplished, when all the ideologies have been fulfilled, when all of the expectations have been met, then you have this huge celebration of accomplishment. In the meantime, you celebrate the wins quickly and mourn the losses even quicker. The number one thing I want you to understand, man, is you can't expect all wins. You have to temper your expectations. If you're expecting all wins all the time in life, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. Because even if you got all wins all the time, you would start to underachieve. There's two things that come from thinking that you're going to have all wins all the time: underachieving and underbelieving. When you underachieve, it's because when you think you're going to get all wins, when you think you're always winning, you can't look at everything as a win. Even if you look at it as a tie, you can't look at everything as a win. Because all you can do is believe you don't need to work harder. It's hard, very difficult to win year after year after year after year. Because the fire and desire is what drives you in the beginning. And then when you lose that, you start to underachieve because the effort and energy isn't there. So don't expect all wins, because if you're not underachieving, then you're underbelieving. Why you're underbelieving? Because when you're expecting all of those wins, you're going to take some losses. And if you set yourself up to believe you're only going to get wins, you can't help but stop believing in yourself as much when you take some losses that you weren't expecting. See, this is about results. It's about expecting the best result because you gave the best effort. That doesn't mean that your best result is going to always be better than somebody else's effort. You can give optimal effort, but somebody else can just give better optimal effort than you sometimes. They say nobody ever remembers second place. I tell you who remembers second place: the person that comes in second place. And you know what? That's all that matters. Because almost nobody comes in first place without having come in second place a couple of times. When you look at sports, nobody becomes a champion until they have been beaten by the champion a few times. You got to get over that hump, per se. You take it all the way back to the Bulls, to the Michael Jordan-led Bulls. Couldn't get over the hump against the Pistons. Just couldn't get over the hump. At first, couldn't get over the hump against anyone. Couldn't get over the hump against the Celtics. Couldn't get over the hump against the Pistons. Couldn't get over the hump against anyone. And then suddenly you got over the hump with the Pistons, with the Celtics, rather. They were aging. And then you kept running into the Pistons. And then you got over the hump with the Pistons. And once you become a champion, you know what it takes to win. See, this isn't about winning or losing. It's about learning what it takes to win in whatever you're doing in life, whatever facet of life you choose to pursue. You have to understand, you have to learn to become a winner. Wins don't come to people who don't put in the work. Man, you got to work hard. You got to outwork everybody. You got to outlearn everybody. You got to outgrind everybody. You got to outshine everybody. Man, you got to listen, brothers. Winning in life is hard. But losing in life is even harder if you give a winning effort. Get a swig of water right here. You can't lose if you give a winner's effort. You know, you only have a few teams that believe it's championship or bust for us. If we don't win a championship, it's a losing season. It's rare. Those teams don't come often. The Jordan-led Bulls were one of those. That's really the only one. Football is such a team sport, so dependent on three aspects of the game: defense, offense, special teams, that you can't even say that about the Brady-led Patriots. You can't say that about the Pat Mahomes-led Chiefs. You can say that about the Bulls. You can say that about the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. You can say that about Braun, Wade, and Bosch, but you see, it takes a super team for you to have the expectation. Even super teams can't win forever. The second thing I want you to think about is you can't accept that you're only going to lose. If you have the mindset of a loser, you're going to lose. Why even compete if you got that mindset? If you have the mindset of a loser, just stay out the game. Don't try to pursue anything you think you're going to lose. How you going to get optimal effort in something that you don't even think you can accomplish? So if you have the mindset of a loser, if you have the defeatist mindset, then don't do it because you're going to be defeated. Why be defeated? Why accept the fact that you're going to be defeated? It doesn't make sense. It's a wild thing to believe you can achieve if all you think about is losing. You have to understand there's lessons in those losses, and you have to learn those lessons. Losses are only losses if you don't learn the lesson. Mistakes are only mistakes if you don't learn the lesson. Failure is only failure if you don't learn the lesson. There's a lesson to be learned. Michael Jordan knew he couldn't beat the Bulls because he was too soft. You know what he had to do? He had to go put some size and muscle on. He took an off season and packed on about 20 pounds of muscle. Wasn't no more knocking him out the air anymore. He was playing through the contact. At that point, they realized they couldn't intimidate him anymore. Because you know what happened after that? Hitting him started to hurt them as well. Hitting him, giving him a 3-point play opportunity instead of no shot at all in intimidation, it changed the way the game was, but he had to learn that. And he had to accept that. And you know what happened? He accepted the small wins. You know what a small win is? Going to the hole and getting hit by the Pistons and you don't hit the ground. Can you imagine how motivated he was the first time he drove to the lane on the Pistons and they tried to hurt him, tried to knock him out the air, and he got an and one? Can you imagine what that was like? The first time Charles Oakley hit him? Can you imagine what it was like the first time Dennis Rodman hit him? Can you imagine what it was like the first time Rick Mahorn hit him and he played through the contact? It turned him into a winner because that small win gave him a sense of accomplishment. You can't even see those small wins if you don't battle like you think you have a chance. You're going to face obstacles all throughout life, man. There are going to be obstacles everywhere. You're going to run right into them sometime. Sometime you're going to dodge one obstacle. You're going to take a left, and that's going to be a bigger obstacle there. But guess what? Life goes on. The battle goes on. The race goes on. The marathon never stops. So instead of accepting that you're going to have all losses, learn lessons and accept those small wins. Progress is what we call small wins. Accept progress. Progress is the pathway to winning. Don't be so foolish to believe that you're so great, you're just gonna, I'm gonna win everything. I don't take much effort. Man, life don't work like that. You find me anybody who think well, life work like that, and I'm gonna show you a loser. Harlem World Breaker SJ3, salute to you, bro. Appreciate the dub, man. Harlem World Breaker, salute King Ray, the realest of the real. Salute to you, man. Man, real one from day one, man. Salute to you, bro. The number 3 thing I want you to understand is recovering from losses and humbling yourself after wins. You got to recover from losses, man. You take a loss, man, so what? The race start back next day. You got a game the next day. You got to recover from losses immediately. In the midst of the loss, you have to be learning a lesson. Every single thing you plan on your journey that doesn't work the way you thought it was going to work, that's a learning experience. So you really don't have time to focus on the result too much because you got to be focused on the rebuild. You got to be focusing on recovering from the loss by changing some things. You got to make some adjustments. You got to do some things differently. You got to change the lineup sometime. Sometimes you got the wrong person playing the 5 spot. You got to put somebody taller in there. Sometimes you got to play small ball. You got to put your small ball unit in there. Other times you got to put your trees in there. You got to have a front line that's averaging 6'11". Other times you got to have a front line where your center is 6'9", and you got to play the way the game dictates. Life is your opponent. Obstacles are your opponent. Laws are your opponent. Rules are your opponent. You got to battle all of these things on your way to winning in life, man. All of them. And humbling yourself after wins, man. Listen, you only got 24 hours to do either. Don't waste more than 24 hours recovering from a loss. If a loss holds you down more than 24 hours, you're a loser. If a win holds you down more than 24 hours and excites you more than 24 hours, then you're satisfied with a little of nothing. You're too easily satisfied. It should only take 24 hours to recover from a loss or to humble yourself after a win. Because guess what? Any longer is a waste of time. Any longer is a waste of time. You don't have time to waste. And that way you make wins and losses equal. They're equal. No matter how good winning feels, losing feels as bad. No matter how bad losing feels, winning feels as good. Winning humbles everything. Listen, man, winning covers a lot of things. Losses expose a lot of things. So they both have the same power, just in different ways. So take your 24 hours to recover from your loss and take your 24 hours to humble yourself after your win and then get back to it. Life is long, but life is short. You understand? I put it like this. Life is long, but days are short. You got a whole bunch of short days in a long life. And so you really don't have time to waste. And any longer celebrating or recovering is, man, it's just a waste of time. Unless it's the end of your season and you have achieved the ultimate goal. When you have achieved the ultimate goal, then take some time to reflect. But even that has to be limited because guess what? It's time to play it back again. It's time to start that next endeavor. It's trying to focus more on that side hustle and turn it into the next business. It's time to go invest in those things that you already been thinking about investing in, but you've been too preoccupied with what you had going on. It's always time to branch out. It's always time to grow. It's always time to improve. It's always time to make a move. So don't waste too much time recovering from losses or celebrating wins. You celebrate the wins more than the losses, then keep it moving. Because life goes on with or without you. The number 4 thing I want you to do is be aware of yes men and cheerleaders. Yes men and cheerleaders, they serve the same purpose. Yes men are the do boys around you who won't tell you what you're doing wrong, won't try to correct you on anything, won't give you no proper insight, always trying to tell you what is going to keep them tight with you and endear them to you. Cheerleaders are the female version of that. You can't do no wrong in their eyes. How you gonna believe in somebody who you can't do no wrong in their eyes when you know you do wrong in your own eyes sometimes? Yes, men and cheerleaders are irrelevant because they're not contributors, and contributors are the only important people. Whatever you're doing in life, contributors are the only important people. They're the only important people. The fact that we're all in this chat right now is because you men are contributors. Contributors are the only important people. I'm not saying other people don't have any significance, but importance is way above significant. Importance is, man, you value the important things. And contributors are the only important people. Man, people can say what they want to say. People can have whatever outlook they want to have. They can have whatever viewpoint they want to have. But contributors are the only important people. They're the people who take prevalence over everyone else. They're the people who matter the most. They're the people who get special benefits and special treatment. Important people do that. So contributors to your grind, contributors to the process, your progress, contributor, whatever you're doing, those are the only important people. Because those people understand mutual benefit. They understand mutual benefit. They understand mutual interest. They understand mutual work, mutual respect. They understand that. Yes, men, the cheerleaders don't mind you crashing out as long as they don't go against you. You need real people around you because this is a real battle. Whatever you're trying to do in life, it's a real battle. And so you need real people around you who are going to truly dedicate themselves to being the best version of themselves. So when they give you whatever they give you, it is authentic. Someone who faking, man, they're not authentic. A yes man is not authentic. A yes man is a male cheerleader. And I'm from the old school. All the male cheerleading stuff wasn't going on, man, when I was in school, man. We had one. We had one, and I'll never forget, man, the homie Sherman, man, he was out on the field, man. Homie Sherman ran out there, man, with a I can't remember what mask he had on, man. Had on a Ronald Reagan mask or something, man. Ran out there, man, smacked 5 from him. Why they was on the field cheering at a game, dog? No, maybe it was a pep rally. Yeah, I think it was a pep rally. Yeah, he smacked me at a pep rally. So you got to understand, man, there are things that you must do, and you got to remember, man, life goes on whether you stay on the train or not. So you either give up or you fight harder. Them your only 2 options. Get out of the way if you just in the way. Either you give up and go home, take your ball and go home, leave the court, or you fight harder. Those are the only things, man. After a loss, that's what you do. You fight harder. After a win, that's what you do. You fight harder. If you're not going to give up, then you better get up. These are the only way that it doesn't work any other way, man. You have to be willing to give your very best effort to the things that you want to achieve. You have to be willing to give your very best effort. If you're not giving your best effort, then what are you doing? What are you doing if you're not giving your best effort? Straddling the fence is worse than quitting. If you're just going to do a little bit, do enough to get by, man, that's worse than quitting. You might as well get out the field. Get out of the way. If you can't move on from a loss, if you can't humble yourself from a win, man, you in the way. Everybody else trying to work. Everybody else got work to do. Stop needing so much emotional validation. Accomplishment should be your validation. If accomplishment isn't your validation, because you're not accomplishing anything. You're not dedicating yourself to anything. You're not trying to move any mountains per se. You're just playing games. And there's no benefit in just playing games, man. There's no benefit in that. So either you give up or you get up and you fight harder. Those are the only 2 options. Because one thing I want y'all to understand, this is about focus. And staying focused is very difficult when you spend too much time worried about results. If all of your time is spent worrying about wins and losses, you never improve. You never get better. You never figure out how to move in a different way because you're not focusing on the progress. And the progress is based on the process. The results aren't the progress. The results are just the results. The progress is the process. What do you need to change in your process? You can't change the result. You got to change the process. The result takes care of itself when you change the process. When you focus on the process, when you focus on the work. You can't focus on results and work at the same time. You can't really, you just can't. You got to focus on the process. The results are going to come. If there are 5 steps, you do all 5 steps, you're going to get the best result. If you skip a step, you know the result ain't going to be the same. It's real simple. Stop spending so much time focusing on the results. The results are the end of the battle. Like when the bell rings in a championship fight, the fight is over. The losing fighter can't do nothing. If you get knocked out, man, you can't fight. It's over. You can't say, hey, let's do it over. No, it doesn't rematch it months down the line. Once it's over, it's over. So when you focus on results, you're focusing on the end, not even the beginning. You're focusing on the end. You got to focus on the steps. Many people can't even get anything close to being in shape because they don't focus on the steps. They worry about the result. Spend too much time looking at the scale. Spend too much time spend some time in the mirror. Not just do the steps. Today's Tuesday. When you wake up tomorrow on Wednesday, do the steps. That's all you got to do. Just do the steps in the process. Every day, just do the steps in the process. Just count down the steps in the process. Don't worry about the results. Stay away from your mirror. Cover all your mirrors up. Don't worry about the mirror. Do the steps in the progress. That's all you got to do. Do the steps. Every now and then, check your results. Check the steps. Check and see if the steps are doing what they need to do. If you're making the progress, remember the progress that you need to make. See if the process is leading to progress. If it is, then you just focus on the process. If it's not, then you adjust the process. The progress is based on the process. The results, the wins and losses, they have nothing to do with progress. They have nothing to do with progress. You can gauge the process by the progress, not by the wins and losses. Another thing I want you to understand is this: wins and losses are the biggest distractions from the process. If you just focus on winning, man, I won. Man, when you focus on why did I win? Why did I win now? Why did I win? Why did I win? That's self-serving. You ain't got to focus on why you won. You ain't got to go around bragging about why you won. You know why you won. It's the process. You finally figured out the process to reach those goals. You finally figured out the process to overcome those obstacles. You finally figured out the process where you don't need those people who really don't want to be involved anyway. You've eliminated the need for them. You've eliminated the necessity for them. You've eliminated their value in your process. Or you can focus on why you lost. Where you focus on why you lost all the time, you're going to be self-limiting. I lost because of this, and I lost because of that. That's too much. I can't fix all that. Man, I lost because I'm just gonna lose. I mean, I did my best. I'm just gonna. Nope, you didn't do your best. You can't do your best when it comes to the process, because your best can only be accomplished when you have perfected the process. You can give optimal effort, but your best is giving optimal effort after you perfected the process. And that's when you get to the ultimate result. Otherwise, just back to a drawing board, man. That's all it is. Listen, man, life is practice until you win. You can't tell the difference between practice and the game until you win. When you win, you just realize that, man, at some point we transition over to the game. You got to treat the game like practice. Every day it's getting better. Every day is getting better. You can't miss practice. You got to be better. And so every day, man, you just have practice. Getting better, working on your skills. That's all you're doing, working on your skills. Never be too high or low on yourself or your ability. Whatever you got it from God. You just blessed. God bless you with the ability. Now you can enhance and you can grow up, but the foundational ability that you have, the foundational gifts that you had, man, God gave you those. You just blessed to have those. So you can never be too high or low on yourself or your ability. Because here's the thing, you got to remember two things. I can get the job done. You can get the job done. You know you can. You know you can. You know you can get the job done. You know if you perfect this process, then you're gonna become the success story that you always wanted to. You know you can achieve the thing that you set out to achieve. You know you could do it. But then you also know you actually have to do the work. You know you can do it, but when you're honest with yourself, you know that the work is required. I don't care what nobody says. You got people trying to get in shape, taking Ozempic and things like that. You got people trying to get in shape, man. They're going to get surgeries to get in shape and do all kind of things. You got people getting abs put on. You got people getting calves and bicep implants and all of that. but they're not getting the result because they didn't put in the work. They didn't put in the work. So it's a botched job. It's not a real result because they didn't put in the work. You got to put in the work. You actually have to put in the work. There's no other way around it. You got to put in the work. If you're not putting in the work, man, then you don't deserve the result that you're looking for. You just don't deserve it. And many people just don't get that. They complain that the result isn't there, but they know they're not putting in the work. They see other people putting in the work and then they hate on those people results. Why? You know, you're not putting in that type of effort. You know, you're not putting in that type of work. So what are we doing? What are we doing? This is how negative naysayers are able to get into your mix. A negative naysayer is a bad company. Terrible company, man. You can't have them around. If you have negative naysayers around you, you're going to fall off. Because it's a heavy weight to have somebody always speaking negatively all the time, always trying to downplay everything, talking down on everything, always trying to distract or detract the value from everything or extract the value from everything. You can't have those people around you. And the only way to keep those people around you, man, you got to put God first in all you do. Because one thing you're going to remember, God is the only one who will never abandon you on your journey. Never abandon you on your journey. People will. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow's show. People will always abandon you. People will always abandon you. God never will. And there's reasons that people will abandon you. But those reasons don't apply to the Most High. They don't apply to God, man. God would never abandon you. God will be there with you. He will guide you and lead you on the journey every single step of the way. And so all you got to do is celebrate the wins, mourn the losses, and then keep it moving. Because life goes on with or without you. That's all it is. All right, homers, I ain't gonna hold y'all in here too long, man. I just want to come in here and drop one off on y'all today. Listen, I appreciate y'all being in the building, man. SJ3 again, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Good to see you in the joint, man. All the other brothers, man. Also, man, appreciate the super chat. All the rest of you brothers, man. I will catch y'all on the next one. We'll be back in this thing tomorrow, man. Hey, look, y'all put God first. Keep grinding and growing, my brothers. Peace.